The United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, and all the other countries under the British Crown, as they currently are not monarchies. They are just republics. The current Windsors are no more kings than those people who brought fake certificates are lords. They have no legitimacy. It's just a title. Like, in the past, like, they would just give noble titles to rich people. They had lots of money and stuff. The titles don't actually mean something. And, like, in the early medieval period, before William the Bastard came over, Earl was someone who ruled a part of the country and stuff. It was an important military and government title and stuff. It's like a regional king or whatnot. But under William the Bastard, he got rid of all the domestic nobility in England and just gave titles to his charm. So that set the precedent that pretty much everything comes from the king and stuff. And that's where I think England went to shit. And I hate William the Bastard. He's the worst bastard ever. But yeah, back to like the Industrial Revolution and stuff. So yeah, so later on, like in like relative modern times, people were made earls and given like titles for. Like, they were just titles. They had no actual power. Like, in Germany, if you were, like, a prince, you ruled a part of the country or whatnot and stuff. But in England, it's just names and stuff. And we're, like, seeing this recently with, Prince Andrew, and, like, he's been stripped of, like, his thing and stuff. Like, if it actually means something, like, that shouldn't happen in an actual monarchy. If someone's stripped, it should be, like, because they're incompetent and stuff. Not because of scandals and trying to avoid, bad media news headlines and stuff. And, like, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, as it is currently, it's the conception of monarchy in the current United Kingdom is pretty much the American Republican view and stuff. Like, for example, the just pretty much the child of the fucking king and like stuff. It doesn't matter if it's they got rid of male prematurity and stuff. So it doesn't matter if the first child is female or male, they're going to inherit the throne and stuff, which is bullshit. Also, it doesn't matter who you marry. They could marry some poor filthy commoner and stuff, and that would just be as legitimate as like an imperial house and stuff. Of course, they would never actually interact with poor common people and stuff because they're in like rich circles and stuff. And like pretty much the Windsors are not monarchs. They are not a royal house. They're in the gutter. They don't want to rule. They have no power. When a country declares a republic and ditches them, they don't care. They might think it's good because they believe that monarchy is not inherently good and that they, if the people do not want them, don't deserve it and stuff. And like, stuff. And like, yeah, so they won't put any resistance. So they won't even like try to convince the people that, hey, actually, we're good for you. You should keep us. No, they have no self-interest in remaining kings and stuff, so I don't think they should remain kings. I hate the Windsors. I think they've destroyed monarchism. I think the conception of monarchism in the German Reich is what I think should have been imposed in Britain. I think Britain should have lost the Great War. And that's a simple fact, and Britain would be better today. I think the Great Britain of the past is dead, and now it's just Americanism, pretty much. People that it's been culturally absorbed by America and stuff. So yeah, pretty much yeah. The real power comes from the elected dictatorship of the Prime Minister. So there's no balance of power. Like they're coming after the House of Lords. They're getting rid of all like the inherited like peers and stuff. So there's no. So it's just people appointed, not democratically elected, appointed, and that power comes from the House of Commons. So it's total House of Commons victory. And if someone in the House of Commons has a majority in the House of Commons, their only threat from power is from below them. And pretty much for 5 years, they are a dictator. And of course, you may say, well, the threat from the inside the party makes it a democracy and stuff because they are the dictator. Well, to that I say, Nikita Khrushchev, he was ousted by his party. That doesn't make the Soviet Union a democracy. Yes, on paper, they have they have politicians elected by votes who vote on laws and stuff. So like they've got the infrastructure, but practically they are not a democracy. So yeah, so why do I think this should be Jacobitism is the solution? Well, I think Jacobitism is the solution because it eventually, it'll end up in the House of Liechtenstein, and in their little country of Liechtenstein, they're running a good country there, and I think if Liechtenstein values were imported into the UK, the UK could be better. As it is now, the Windsors, they are puppets, literally puppets of the House of Commons. Like, when the King addresses a speech to Parliament, his words are not coming. It's not his words coming from his mouth. It's the words of the Prime Minister going through his mouth. There's literally nothing more puppet than that. And like the only defense against democracy is that it will stop dictatorship and stuff. Well, King Charles is no Victor Emmanuel III. Victor Emmanuel III, he was able to oust Mussolini. King Charles will not. What would happen if there's a military dictatorship? Because the royal family has so little power, so little thing, the king saying, oh, blah, 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 get rid of him, will have no difference to like a celebrity or someone else like that. So there is no actual power, so the dictator will just declare a republic, like in Fiji, and then that's the end of the game and stuff. So yeah, I don't like the Windsors, and I think the House of Liechtenstein, they're running a good country, and I think if they came into the UK and all the Commonwealth countries, I think their libertarian thingo and ideology and stuff will make the country great again. Yeah, so pretty much make the British Empire great again. Because, for example, in Liechtenstein, very decentralized and stuff. Even though it's a small country, on paper, each different region could declare independence. And I think that's pretty cool and stuff. So I think I like Liechtenstein, and I want the UK to become Liechtenstein, and that is why Jacobitism is the only solution for monarchism. Because the Windsors are not royals, and the Liechtensteins are good. So yeah, that is all.